Hi there YouTubers and Alien fans. This is Roscoe back with a new review, and this time it's of the Prime 1 Studios Alien Warrior. This is the deluxe version and also the Prime 1 store exclusive that comes with the bonus pulse rifle. Sorry I've got him sort of on the floor here in front of my TV unit. I haven't sort of got all this stuff in my theatre room organised yet for another room. Need to get a display made, so he will have to do for now until I find his final resting place. But yeah, I got this last Sunday. It turned up on the weekend. I was quite surprised that they're delivering on weekends, but DHL turned up. 2 boxes, which I'll show you later. But yeah, the boxes are really heavy. I think gross weight they both come to about 60 kilos. So I was not expecting that. I ordered this piece back, well, I think last April. I didn't order it straight away. It's something I was sort of thinking about because it was from the comic line. But I think it's a thing that Prime 1 use just to so they can get licensed to do it. But to me, it looks like a film piece. It sort of sits well and is made the same way, same quality, same materials, same paintwork as the big chap and the dog, which are from film licenses. So I think that's something they just needed to do to get this out. So yeah, put it together I think a couple of days ago, so I haven't really had much chance to look at it. But overall it's a pretty big and very deep piece. So once again I have to put on one of these sort of chipboards underneath so I can sort of move it around because it's just too heavy to move in one piece. Him sort of angling forward off the base as well puts you in an awkward position to pick it up. So something I'll definitely, when I want to sit it up on a table, will have to remove the alien at least to sort of put up on a higher level. Anyways, let's go take a closer look. So I have him set up in the regular option at the moment. As I said, I ordered this last year and didn't really give it much thought. I was like, okay, I'll complete the Trinity. I've got Big Chap, or both Big Chaps, the dog alien as well. Ordered that, and so I thought I'd get it just to complete that line. So I'd have, you know, all the 1/3 scales. So I didn't really give this much thought. It was paid off with flex pay, and then all of a sudden, you know, we got our Jungle Hunters, and everyone's excited for that, especially here in Australia. Everyone's sort of raving about those, and this was sort of forgotten about for me a little bit. And then I got a shipping notice saying, you know, ready to go. So I had planned for the shipping costs, so it wasn't too much of a shock because the shipping prices are insane right now, as everyone can relate. Yeah, so got him out. Now this is the first time I've really sort of stood back and had a decent look at it. But yeah, it does sort of hang over the pose does hang over the base a little bit. That's one thing I'm not 100% loving. That's probably the only thing I don't really like about it at this stage. I would have liked him more central on the base, which I'll show you a side view a bit later. I think the Cool Props one, that was cancelled. That was sitting nicely in the middle of the base. I actually really liked that piece, and I was going to order that as well, so, but that was cancelled. But lucky Prime 1 were doing this, so I still get, well, we still get our 1/3 Alien Warrior. So as I said, this is the regular head. If you buy the regular version, this is what it comes with. It looks, I think it's the stun head, so it doesn't have all the animatronics and the mechanical lips and things like that. They're all missing. So if you got the Cool Props 1-to-1 scale head, that's what theirs looks like. Whereas if you have the sideshow version, it'll look like the one at the back there, which I'll show you later as well. So yeah, the paintwork and paint quality is very similar to Dog Alien and Big Chap. It feels exactly the same picking the body up out of the box. So you've got that, you know, polystone or resin sort of, still got the same weight to it. The heads feel very solid still. I had a feeling that we're going to make these dorsal spines separate, but they were fixed as well. So hopefully people, when they get this, they don't have issues with that, like they did with the Big Chap. Overall, mine, everything went beautifully. I opened it up and there was no chips, no cracks, from what I can see anyway. No damage. Everything fit in the sort of the keys, and all the joints fit beautifully. This, out of all the Aliens that Prime have done, I think this is the most refined in regards to build quality, or going from this one anyway. Dog Alien I had, you know, the feet you have to sort of line up and put two separate legs on and then sort of line it up and sort of wedge it in. It took a little bit to sort of get into the base. But that was still quite decent. Big Chap, oh, everyone knows all my issues with the Big Chap, with leaning and tails not holding in properly and getting replacement tails, replacement head sculpts with dings and things like that. So a lot of issues with the Big Chap, which I will fix now. This one, not a drama at all. Hopefully that's the case for everybody else as well. All right, so firstly, we'll look at the base. It's got the Weyland-Yutani symbol there and all the piping, which looks quite hot. It's got that hot look. It's overheating. It does come off, it's more of a tomato sort of color, sort of a dark sort of red in person. But here it looks a lot brighter, like a brighter orange, but it's more of a red in person. As I mentioned, it was quite deep. This is all part of the base here, all these sort of entrails sort of look from the nest. You get the body next, so you have to, the legs, there's a pin here and a key. This one slots in, that one just rests on the base. That goes all the way up to here. You got two arms, they just clicked in really well with magnets both sides. And the head sculpt sort of slots in. You have to put the rear dorsal spine onto. There's one hidden in there, that's magnetized in there. Sure if you guys can see it right there, that one. You sort of see the join there. So that's probably better putting on first, and then you put the head sculpt on last. You gotta be very slow or careful putting it on. You don't rub this up against, because it's very close to the dorsal spines. You don't want the head to rub against that, or rub against the spines on that. So if you're going nice and slow, you shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. So there's no wiggle room on the head, it fits in nicely. The tail on mine, this is what I had drums with my Big Chap. This one was perfect. So slid in really well, blocked in nice and tight, very faint seam line, which is good. And yeah, the tail's no cracks or anything like that. I know some people have been complaining that the tail wasn't the same as the prototype. It should be a bit more curled and underneath him. But these are all handmade, so even with the Big Chap tails, I've had replacements. Every single one I got was different, because they're all handmade. They come out of the mold different, they dry different, I suppose. So you're going to get some variation in the tails. Even the Big Chaps, they'll sell from different people. Some were touching the foot, some were an inch away from the foot. So I think we're going to see some variation with the tails, because that's just how alien statues are. But that doesn't bother me. It looks positioned well. I like it up nice and high, actually. In that sort of defensive pose. But yeah, the blue looks really nice. It's not in your face blue. You've got some of the, it's toned down with some olives and some greens. So you've got that, you know, it's almost similar tones that were used on the Sideshow bust, the life-size bust. The other aliens, the dog and the Big Chap, had a lot of mottling. So you had all those sort of little mottling sort of patterns and that. This doesn't have that. I think if I mottled this and made it all sort of more browns and more blues, it just looked like a bit of a painted mess. So I can understand why they've just done some patterning with some of the colors and just done a slight blue hue over the top. But all the little high rise, so these raised sort of parts, sorry, every little raised part all over the whole piece, it's just painted beautifully. There's no like sloppy brushwork where, oops, they missed a spot or they overdid it on the spot and made a mess. Everything's just super smooth, and even on the legs, all this sort of, that coil look is all painted. It's very crisp. So how they've done that, I'm not sure. That's, you know, very well done. As I mentioned earlier, I've set this up in the regular layout. So the egg accessory here, which comes with the regular, you got your really cool face hugger piece. So it slots in with a key. Got that gruesome looking slimy egg shape there. Quite large in my hand, so it's not something you can hold comfortably one hand. You definitely need two to hold it. Keys into the base. You just got to be very careful you don't rub it up against the leg putting it in. So that looks really cool. I was kind of playing whether to do the closed egg, because I think the closed egg looks a little bit more like it would look in the nest, because it wouldn't open for the Warrior. So still in two minds about how I want to display this. If I want the deluxe look or do I want the regular look. I think I might put the deluxe head on this eventually, but keep the regular egg, having it open, because it just shows more detail, a bit more color. So the first thing you do when you get the base out, obviously, is you got to put this back wall on. So that is actually quite heavy. It is keyed in here. There's another separate key with a pin over that side. So you slot that in and it hangs off the edge. So once you put it in, it hangs off and it has a little bit of height here where this won't actually hit anything. So it's off. So if you were to slide around, it wouldn't really touch the table. So it doesn't need any like sort of foam rests underneath or anything like that. But if you were to sort of lean this onto something, it could slide out. So I don't think anyone's going to do that. But this went through. This was delayed for ages. I ordered it a year after it was up for order. It took another year and a half after that. A lot of the aliens seem to be taking a long time to come out. But I think they went through some changes. So the base, this part here was a lot different. All these I think were added. A lot more of this sort of gruesome, slimy sort of cores on the base. This was further out. This base was a lot deeper. Went back another inch or so. A lot of people complaining it's just too deep. So I think they did shorten it somewhat. On the back, they added some more details, more gruesome sort of nest stuff, which I'll show you as well. But yeah, they did sort of bring it in a little bit. There are photos on the internet where you can see the before and after, so I don't really want to go through and nitpick everything that was changed, but you guys could probably see that better for yourselves. But I just do remember this part coming a lot more, and they have brought it back. And this was a bit shorter, and a lot of the squarish details are now covered in nest stuff. Yeah, but that's definitely a heavy piece. So once again, trying to pick it up from behind here, it's going to be very heavy. Try to pick it up from the front. Got this alien hanging over towards your chest. It's not really something you would want to do. I think this measures from here to here. I think it's about 65 centimeters. So from there to the front of the alien, 65 centimeters. So it is, over 2 foot, I'd say, in length or width. All right, here's the rear of the base. So got some more of these heated up coils or piping. See, all this was added on the sculpt update. So all this sort of stuff here. This was pretty clean, I think, in the original. And they've added all this work around here. You got like the nest stuff that's almost been sort of sectioned off and cut. So I'm giving us a glimpse of what's inside these things. This is probably the bluest part of the whole piece, is the back here. But if you have it in a dark room or a regular room, it's going to tone down a lot. So you look at the alien. Alien looks like, I really like the shine and the gloss he has. Very glossy. So like that tail joint, like going off my last color pieces, that's great to see from my perspective. That fits so well. Locks in, very strong magnet as well. Everything is locked in beautifully. The hand sort of sits close to the body. How it's been sculpted. There's that fin there. Not sure if that's a little bit oversized. Thought it'd be more pointy, but being comic licensed, I'm not sure if it's taken some liberties from a comic rather than the actual film, but yeah, it looks a little bit big and slight wrong shape. I might be wrong, someone might be able to correct me on that, but nostalgia wise, this is a fantastic piece. You know, Aliens is something that, you know, I've actually loved for a long time. And there's not many, I've never found many decent Alien Warrior pieces out there. Like obviously the Sideshow one, that was an absolute grail. The pose on that I love. I prefer the pose on the Sideshow one. I'll tell everyone that now. But this size-wise, detail, paintwork, presence, this probably beats all Alien Warriors that are out there, to be honest. A debate could be made for the life-size one, which I don't find 100% accurate, but you know, overall presence, that beats everything. Of course, it's huge. All right, so now I'm going to take a look at the deluxe parts. So if you order the deluxe, you'll get these two things. So you get a base to hold or store whichever egg you're not using. I said these are massive. This one's the heaviest out of the two eggs, surprisingly. So you pick this one up, it's almost like a lawn bowls ball. It's got that much weight to it. It's almost like, it feels like almost solid resin. Or polystone, whatever it is. So yeah, very, very heavy, this one. Got this gruesome sort of base. All the bases have nice Prime 1 emblems and logos on it. And the edition size, mine's number 95 of 300 of these that were made. Surprisingly, yeah, all the Predator Alien stuff I have in my collection, I don't actually have any eggs or face huggers. So it's not something I've ever gone and bought. So this is my first sort of piece where I have some eggs and a face hugger in statue form anyway. Had plenty with the figures, but never with a statue, so it's nice to finally have something. It's just not the prettiest thing in the house. Here we have the other bust that holds the spare head sculpt. So you get this really nice bust. This one's very solid, no issues with this tipping over. It weighs a ton for its size. Very strong. You got another replica almost of a bust of the statue again. You got to install that spike or that dorsal spike again, just like the other one. And this one is the mechanical head, I'm pretty sure. So it's open, it's got the snarl, got all the little mandibles and the clear mandibles there. I think I will be putting this one on the piece eventually. This one you have to, this part here, the bottom jaw is separate. You have to pick which mandible you want to put in the inner sort of tongue. You want the short one here or the long one. So that goes right in, it clicks in with a magnet, and then you put the bottom jaw, goes to this lip here, you can see this seam there. That bottom jaw clicks in with a magnet as well and sort of finishes it off. That's overall clever design. And as I said, the magnets are very strong in this piece. Gonna have to do something seriously wrong or be very neglectful to lose any parts once installed. So yeah, overall I think I'll go with that. It's just cool to have the stunt head on for a bit, because no one really makes the stunt head on statues. So, but at the end of the day, that's the one we see close up in the movie. So yeah, we'll be going for that later. All right, so when you open one of the boxes, not sure if it's box 1 or box 2, you get a 2023 calendar. So that's quite cool. You get a catalog, which is, you know, jam-packed full of stuff that they're doing. That was a good read, looking at all the stuff coming soon. And we have our regular assembly instructions. So I'll give you guys a look at that, how everything's individually made. So It's all broken up into sections. Now I think one of the boxes I opened first, I was thinking I was going to get the base out. I think it was the single layer box. I thought I was going to end up with just one layer in the foam tray. I thought I was opening the base, but this actually is part of this, the dual layer box. So this is on the bottom and the head sculpts and tail on the top. So this box is on its own. So if you open the box with just, it's just got one cut in the tape, that's what you're getting. So I ended up opening that one first. I have to lay them out separately. Yeah, so that was on its own. These two are in the same box together. So I was surprised that, this massive base and these eggs would be underneath that, but that's how it worked out. As you can see in this picture, the tail's a lot lower than what mine is. It's down a bit low where mine's put up here. There's your step-by-step assembly instructions. So you can see how the keys are for that. Gotta be careful not to chip the back sort of claw on the stuff on the ground. Once you get all the pieces out, this was a lot easier to put together than the Jungle Hunter was, that's for sure. Don't have to worry about batteries or anything. No light ups on this. There's the bottom jaw piece I was talking about. Once you put the mandible in, you gotta slide the bottom jaw in. There we have it. Now here's one more piece I haven't talked about yet. So this pulse rifle, 1/3 scale pulse rifle, comes with the bonus version. So there's the regulars out there, there's the deluxes out there, then there's the deluxe bonus version. So if you order directly through Prime One store or any retail that orders in the store exclusives, then you'll get this as well. So this is just a solid piece. Just a solid sculpt. It doesn't have a strap or anything like that, and that just sort of sits on the base wherever you want. So that's quite cool on its own. Got some of the acid wear in the base. It's pretty cool. It's sort of eating away through to the floor. Got the, I like this sort of stuff. Very iconic in Aliens film, black and white striping on things. What I think would make this really cool and gruesome is someone in there, sort of all wedged in there and morphing into the wall. That would have been probably quite gruesome. Just a subtle someone being entrapped in there somehow. I think that would have been really cool. And here's the box art for the two boxes. Some really cool images. There's different images on the back. I don't need to show you that. But yeah, they look really, really nicely printed. This was shipped from, standard shipping by DHL. They did a great job of getting this here in great condition. The shipper boxes look fantastic. We've still got all nice sharp edges around the box, so nothing was hit or whacked. So reason why mine came in one piece, which is great. Really cool artwork on the Prime boxes. Just shame you don't get to see them too much because you put them away in storage. So there's mine, says 95, 300 DXS. And it's a bonus part. And 41A pulse rifle if you get it, the bonus version. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there. Give you one quick look once again at this awesome piece. Just got notified also that my big chap bus from Queen Shears is on its way as well, so never rains it pours. Haven't even finished reviewing this and putting the boxes away, and I've got something else on the way, so Got to start tightening this place up and getting ready for that piece. It's probably going to be absolutely massive. So here we have it. I'm very happy with all three Prime 1 Studios 1/3 scale aliens. So I think that's my alien line done for a while. I think has to be something pretty special to order anymore. So there's Arnie for you as well. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye for now.